Give me 15 minutes, this video plus your own keyboard, and you'll walk away with a real AI agent you built yourself, not a chatbot. An agent, it decides what to do, uses tools, and doesn't stop until the job is done. One screen of Python, no framework. This is the finished thing running, and by the end, it's yours. First, the workbench. 4 commands. Make a folder for the project. We're calling this Agent Scout. Then create a clean Python environment. Switch it on and install exactly one package, the official Anthropic library. That wall of plus signs is the entire dependency story. No framework, no starter template. And if you'd rather spend $0, there's a fully local path in the starter kit. Same code, same loop. Pause here and run these 4 commands on your machine. Then come right back. Now the key, and here's the thing that confuses everyone on day one. A Claude subscription and the Claude API are 2 different doors into the same building. The subscription pays for the apps. The API is for code that you write, and it runs on credits. So, console.anthropic.com, create a key, load $5 of credit, and switch auto reload off. That makes $5 a hard ceiling. This entire course will use pennies of it, and I'll prove that on screen every single run. Export the key in your terminal, and you're armed. Next, Scout needs a world to work in. 3 receipts, 3 plain text files, a coffee run, a hardware trip, and groceries. The mission. Which one cost the most? Easy for you. You just look. But the model cannot see your files. It's locked in a box with no eyes and no hands. Everything Scout becomes starts from that limitation. Pause and create these 3 files, or comment the word Scout, and I'll send you the starter kit. Now the build. Open a new file, agent.py. We start with the agent's hands, 2 tools. A tool is 3 things: a name, a description, and a schema for its inputs. Now, look closely at that description. List the receipt files in the folder. That sentence is not a comment, it is the interface. It is the only thing the model reads when it decides what your tool does and when to use it. So write descriptions like documentation for a very literal coworker, because that is exactly who's on the other end. Then run _tool, a plain Python function. The name comes in, we do the work, and a string goes back. List files, read a file. That's the entire toolbox. Pause here and type this block. And now, the whole secret. A while loop, about a dozen lines. This is the part every framework hides from you. But wait, where does the goal live? Right here. Before the loop starts, the conversation begins with one message. Which receipt has the highest total? Nobody types that in a chat. It's written into the file. That sentence is the mission. Everything Scout does flows from it, plus the tool descriptions. Top of the loop, we call the model and hand it 2 things: the conversation so far and the toolbox. The model reads those tool descriptions and makes a decision. Answer now or reach for a tool. If it stopped asking for tools, we break. The job is done. But if it did pick a tool, we run it. That's our code acting in the real world. And we append the result back into the conversation. Then the loop goes around, and the model sees what happened. Choose, act, observe, repeat. Every agent product you have ever heard of is this loop wearing a suit. Pause and type it. Moment of truth. Before you hit enter, predict 3 files in that folder. Which one will Scout read first? Lock it in. Python agent.p. Watch the arrows. Every arrow is Scout making a choice. There it is. First, it listed the folder, the only way to know what exists. Then it read all 3 receipts. Nobody told it to do that. It decided. And the answer, hardware.txt, $101.99. And look at the very last line. Scout printed its own bill. About 2,400 tokens in, a few hundred out. This run cost about a third of 1 cent. Real number. Every run. Always on screen. So what did you actually build? 4 stages. And you can point to every one of them in the file. It perceives the message list, everything that has happened so far. It reasons the model call, where the next move gets chosen. It acts run_tool, your plain Python doing real work. And it observes the result appended back, so the next lap of the loop can see it. Perceive, reason, act, observe. Lock that cycle in. It is the spine of this entire course. When agents break, and they will, it is always one of these 4 stages failing. Now the honest part, because this is where most tutorials stop and let you believe you're done. Scout has no memory. Close the terminal and it's a goldfish. No plan. It wings every mission. No tests. We feel like it works. We don't know it. And it trusts every file it reads. One day, that will be a file an attacker wrote. Each of those is a real way agents break in production. And each one is a chapter of this course. So here's the whole road. Parts 1 and 2, the loop, deeply, then real tools, and MCP. Parts 3, 4, and 5, memory, planning, and teams of agents. Parts 6 and 7, the ones almost nobody teaches, testing, reliability, and cost control. Part 8 ships it. Same agent, same file, live at a URL you can send people to. And Part 9, you build your own and put it on the leaderboard. One agent upgraded every chapter. That's the course. Your turn. And this part is not optional. Typing it is how it sticks. Comment Scout, and I'll send the starter kit. The code, the receipts, the $0 local variant, and self-checks with answers. Core exercise. Add a third tool that counts the files. Stretch goal. Make Scout find the cheapest receipt without touching the tools. If that one makes you stop and think, good. The answer teaches the deepest idea in this whole lesson. One more thing. These receipts were text files to keep your first build simple. Real receipts are photos. Same loop. One smarter tool. And Scout reads pictures. That's coming. Next, part 1. What you actually built. And why this loop? Not the model, is the product. Scout is at version 0. Let's go earn version 1.